Okay, Assalamu alaikum and Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. So today we are resuming after a long break, and uh, we couldn't, I couldn't record lectures because of multiple reasons. But we are back, and in the next couple of days, I will be recording and uploading the remaining lectures. So I would request that all of you pay attention, like keep on visiting the Google Classroom and keep watching these videos so that you have enough practice before the finals. Okay, let's get started with today's lecture. So in today's lecture, we'll talk about the first application software, which is a very important application software. It is Microsoft Word, and the specific version of Word that we'll be working with, it comes with Office 365. So it is Word 365. It's the latest version of Microsoft Word. Now, in our last lecture, we talked about operating systems, and operating systems are what we call system software. Okay, they are software. Operating system is a software, but it is a specific type of software called a system software. And a system software is basically specifically the operating system. It allows you to use your hardware. So without the operating system, you will not be able to use your or utilize your computer's hardware. So the operating system is what makes the hardware accessible to you, and you are able to use the hardware if you have an operating system installed on your hardware. So one of the operating systems that we very commonly use is the Microsoft Windows operating system. So we talked about it in our last lecture. This particular version of Microsoft Windows is the Windows 10 operating system. And then there are many other operating systems. We have previous versions of Microsoft Windows. Before this, I guess we had Windows 8, and then there was Windows 7, Windows Vista, and then Windows uh, I guess it was Windows 2000 Professional, and then Windows Me, Windows NT, and then there were lots of versions of Windows. Okay, so I've been using Windows since the days of Windows 98. Uh, Other than Windows, Windows is one of the most popular operating systems. So maybe around 80 to 90% of the market goes to Windows. So 80 to 90% of people who use a personal computer, most probably they are using Microsoft Windows as an operating system. The remaining market, it goes to Apple Mac OS. So Apple also, you are aware of the iPhone and the iPad and the all these cool gadgets that Apple makes. Apple was probably the first company that started making personal computers and personal computers with graphical user interface. So they started making their Macintosh operating system. So Apple Mac OS in recent days it is called Mac OS, Mac operating system. So that is another operating system that is also popular. And then there is another very good operating system called Linux, and Linux comes for free. So like you can download Linux and you can install Linux on your laptop or personal desktop computer, and you can start using it, and it comes for free. And Linux is a very good operating system, but many people may not find it very easy to use. Okay, so today we are going to talk about Microsoft Word. Now, Word is a type of application software. Okay, so there is that system software. System software deals with your computer system, your hardware mostly, or writing software that is used to create another software. So compilers and assemblers, they also become part of your system software. So I mentioned these terms compiler. Compiler is basically a software that translates a program written in some high level computer programming language to the machine language. Okay, so we talked about machine language. I guess you remember we have been talking about binary number systems and ones and zeros, and we said that everything a computer stores or every type of data that a computer processes, that data has to be encoded in ones and zeros. The same is true about instructions. If you want to do your computer to do something for you, so the instructions must also be encoded in ones and zeros. Okay, so definitely we want to give instructions to our computer, and we want our computer to understand those instructions. For example, this application software, now somebody wrote this software. Okay, not just somebody, a lot of people worked on this software, and it is responding to different types of inputs and instructions. So I'm moving my mouse pointer, and if my mouse pointer comes over a particular button or a particular place, so the behavior of that place changes. Now somebody wrote instructions to the computer to change this behavior or to show this behavior. Okay, it doesn't happen automatically. So similarly, if this is if I move my pointer here, so here also things change, and these things change because somebody wrote the computer instructions that tell the computer to change the colors, for example, here. So here you see the background color changes and all these things happen. So somebody wrote the instructions for this. So application software. So compiler is basically a software that that translates the instructions that you write, that we'll write as programmers, into something that the computer can understand, and the computer can only understand ones and zeros. We call that language as machine language. So the compiler translates a high-level language program into machine language program. So it is also part of the system software. The operating system, the compilers, they are all called system software. Now this particular software is called an application software. An application software in general, it serves a particular application. It is meant to create, it is created to carry out a certain task. Okay. Now this is Microsoft Word. Okay, here you see Word. It is a word processor, and by word processor we mean that it allows us to create different types of documents. It allows us to create different types of documents. So we can create documents where we can edit text. In those documents we can edit text. Okay, so for example, when you start Office Microsoft Word, okay, so this particular version of Microsoft Word comes with Office 365. Okay, so the interface may be different if you are using another version of Microsoft Word. So when you start it, you might see some different interface. Okay, you might see some different interface. This interface comes with Office 365 or Word 365. Now you can use Word 365 for free, like you can get it for free, and for that you have to contact your CMS operator. So through your CMS operator you can, and your official sorry, official email address, the address at uitpeshawar.edu.pk. Through that address you can get your own copy of Office 365, and you should try to get one. Okay, you should be using that copy. It comes with a free license. Okay, so HEC and Microsoft, they have been working together with universities. So for universities, students and teachers, Office 365 license is free at the moment. So you can get that license and download your copy of Office 365 and install it and start using it. Okay, so this copy is registered against my name. If I bring my, if the mouse pointer here, so here you can see there is my name, and it is connected to my official email address, and I'm signed in to this account. Okay, so like without this account I may not be able to use it. So this is the interface that you'll get at the onset when you start Word. Now here are some options you should be aware. So here you have different templates that you can use for creating a Word document. Now, what is a template? A template is basically a map. Okay, so a map that allows you to build something. Okay, so map has instructions, and following those instructions, you can create something. So you can create different types of. You can start with a blank document. So if I click here, a new blank document will be opened. Now, document is a file basically. Microsoft Word, when you create a file, using Microsoft Word, that file is called a document. What is a file? A file is basically a construct that allows you to store data on your hard disk drive. So whenever you want to store data in on your hard disk, you basically create a file. Now a file can be of different types. One of the file types is a Word document. Okay. So then there are other different types of files. For example, you can have image files, JPEG images, GIF images, bitmap images. So you can create those types of files using, say, Paint. So you have Paint pre-installed. So you can launch Paint. So type Paint in here, and then you will launch Paint. And here you can create image files. Okay, so here you can create images, and then you can store those images. Okay, so say I'm creating an image. Right now it is untitled. If I press the save button, so they'll ask me, how do you want to save this image? Okay, so I can provide a name. So this is just a test image, and I can provide this type. Which type of image do I want to store? So there are different types of images. I can create a JPEG image with the extension .jpg. I can create a bitmap image. I can create a TIFF image, PNG image, GIF image. Now these different types, like they store image in different formats. Each format has its own advantage. For example, JPEG stores very little space on the hard drive. Okay, so if I store an image in JPEG format, the file size would be small. If I store the image in, say, 24-bit bitmap format, .bmp, so the image would be large, the file size would be large. JPEG basically compresses your image. It compresses your image. Okay, compresses means it tries to reduce the file size for that image. So we can save it like that. Say for example, we save it like this. So the Paint software, like using the Paint software, you can create files that store image data, that store images. Okay, and those files can be of different types. So in the same way, Microsoft Word allows you to create files that are basically Word documents that store those files store Word documents. Now you can create different types of documents. Okay, you can start with a blank document if you know what you want to create, or you can create a document using a template based upon a template. Okay, so template is basically a map, or what can you call it, naksha. Okay, so map is also a naksha. It's just in Urdu. So using a template, you can create a particular type of document. For example, we have right here we can see a template for resume. If you want to create your CV or resume and you don't know how to write it, so you what you can do is you can use a template to create a resume. Okay, so let's look at the different templates that are available to us, and you can use those templates. Now they're divided into different categories. So if you're writing a letter, you can go to templates for letters. It will also search templates that are available online. Okay, resumes should not figure out here, but usually resume and cover letters, they go together, so that's why you can see them together. If you want to create, for example, now this is a calendar. If you want to create a calendar and you want to print it out and paste it on your table, so you can do that. Let us, in order to demonstrate how templates work, let us use a template. Okay, and now I'll just show you how you can start working on that. But let us create a resume based on a template, because this is a template, blue gray resume. And it can be used to create a resume. A resume is basically something that presents your experience, your education, your any other talents that you may have. If you want to apply for a job, or if you want to apply for any other position, so basically people want to know about you, and a resume tells them about you, like who you are, what do you want to do, what are your qualifications, what is your work experience, and all that. You put all that in 2 or 3 pages, and you send it to your potential employer, and the employer goes through your resume and evaluates your evaluates you against a certain position. Okay, so you might need to create resumes after you graduate, or even maybe during your graduation. So you can use a template to do that. And if you want to create a resume, just you have selected the template and you just press create. So this template is again, I guess, available online. It is not available offline on the computer. So it is being downloaded right now. Once it is downloaded, then Microsoft Word will create a document based upon this template. So now we have the template available here. Okay, so the template is downloaded. It has been downloaded and is available here. So let me on the left we have this navigation pan. Okay, so this thing is called a pan. So this is a navigation pan. So it allows me to move to different parts of this document. Now this is a single page resume. It does not have a lot of places to go. But if you are working on a huge document and that document has hundreds of pages and multiple chapters and different sections, so here in this navigation pan, you would be able to move from directly from one chapter to another chapter to another chapter. Like you can randomly go to any place you want. Okay. Okay, we don't like to go to the resume assistant. So this is basically how you can create a Word document using a template. Okay. So now in this template, what you need to do is you need to make changes. Like you need to put your name here. Uh, for example, if somebody's name is say Ehsan ul Haq, okay? So you put your name here and job title, whatever your current position is, you can put that here. Now, if you look, let us go through the interface of Microsoft Word. So this blue thing that you see here, this is the title bar. Okay, this blue bar that you see at the top of your window, this is the title bar. Now the title bar has plenty of things. Okay, so on the rightmost you have the standard buttons, which you'll see almost in every window. So this is the close button. If you press it, so Microsoft Word will close. Before closing, it will ask you whether you want to save changes to this document or not. Okay, so you can do that. Then this button is the resize button. So if you want to resize or maximize your window, so now we have resized it, and by pressing again, we have maximized it. So you can use this for maximizing your window or resizing it to the original size. And this here is the minimize window. If I press this button, so the window will be the an icon for Microsoft Word will appear on the taskbar. This here is a taskbar. Okay, so this icon will appear on the taskbar, and another window will take the forefront on your screen. Okay, so let's get back. So this is basically you're aware of. I hope you're aware of these things. And then in Office 365 and Microsoft Word 365, you will have details of the user account that you're using. Those details will also be available here. Similarly, you can use this is the search bar here on the title bar as well. Now this may be different from other versions of Microsoft Word. Okay, it may not appear in all versions of Microsoft Word. Here we have these quick access. This is the quick access bar. So you can quickly access certain buttons here. Okay. So this icon here, it is for saving. If you made changes in this document and you want to save those changes, so you need to press. You can press this button, save. And when I bring my mouse pointer here, you can see that there is something appears on the screen which tells you that this button does the save action, like it is for saving the document. And then in the parenthesis you see Control plus S. So Control plus S is the keyboard shortcut for the save command. Okay, so you can save this document by either pressing this button, the save button here, or by pressing Control and S keys on your keyboard together. So you can press first the control button and then the S button, and your document will be saved. You can do that. You can come here in the file menu, and in the file menu you can press the save button. This would take a lot of clicks, a couple of clicks. So that's why you have these shortcuts. So you have the save button here, which you can quickly access, and you can press the control plus S keys to save your document. So you should be aware of all these different options, multiple options of doing the same thing. Okay. Similarly, let me close this navigation pan. Similarly, there's another option called autosave. Okay, so right now autosave is turned off, so we can turn on autosave. And when you turn on autosave, so Microsoft Word will automatically save your document after a certain amount of time, say every minute or every 30 seconds or every 2 minutes or 3 minutes. So that depends upon you, like you can choose those settings somewhere, I'm sure. Similarly, autosave can save your document to your OneDrive account. OneDrive account. Okay, so Microsoft has this huge cloud infrastructure, and on the Microsoft Cloud, you can have an account, a free account, and with that free account comes free storage space. So I guess it allows you to store around 5 or 6 GB of data on the cloud. So you can have a OneDrive account. You can create a OneDrive account, and right now, so I automatically have a OneDrive account. So because of the deal between Microsoft and HEC, so we are allowed to use Microsoft Office 365 for free, and we are allowed to use that with our UET domain accounts. So this account is registered with Microsoft. So with this account comes free storage space on Microsoft's cloud. Okay, so we can store our documents automatically on the cloud. Okay, that we can do. So this is the quick access bar. Now there are other options. This is the undo option. Okay, so this allows you to undo your last action. So you can if you made a mistake, so you can undo that mistake by clicking on this button. So say for example, the last thing that we did was type Ehsanul Haq. Okay, so when I pressed undo, so Ehsanul Haq is gone. Okay, now I can do an undo by pressing this button, or see when I bring the mouse pointer here, so this a screen tip appears, this white area that you see on the screen in which undo typing is written, it is called a screen tip. Okay, so a screen tip appears, and that screen tip says that this command, this button here, it can be used to undo typing, whatever typing or whatever action that we did last time, you can undo that here by pressing this button. Okay, or you can use the shortcut control plus Z. So every command that you can execute in Microsoft Word, it often has a keyboard shortcut. So these different options that you have of doing the same thing, of carrying out the same action, this gives you flexibility in working. So you can use that flexibility, and you can work quickly in Microsoft Word. Some people are comfortable with the keyboard, so they are typing and they want to do, they do not want to use the mouse in between that typing, so they can use these keyboard shortcuts to do the different things. Similarly, if you want to redo the last action that you undid, so you can do that. Okay, so redo typing would, like, the last action that I undid was typing. I typed the name Ehsanul Haq, so I want to redo it, and you see the shortcut for that is control plus Y. So this time I won't press the button, I want to use the shortcut control plus Y. You cannot see like whether I press the control and Y keys or not, but you can see the action, the end result, sorry. The end result is whatever I undid last time, it appears back here again. Similarly, now there is nothing to redo, but there is something to undo. So you can press the undo button again if you want to, but this is not what we want to. Similarly, there is another button here, print preview. So if you want to look at this document, like how would it look when it is printed, so you can press this button and you will be taken to the print preview. Okay. So here it shows you how this document would look when it is printed. Okay, so this is the print preview. Now we'll come back to this later. Uh, Similarly, this quick access bar, like you can customize it. This quick access toolbar, it's technically it's called a quick access toolbar. You can customize it. Whenever we say customize means you can change the way it looks. You can change the commands or buttons that appear here. All those things. So let us say we don't want automatically save here, and we don't want print preview here, say for example. So now you only see save and undo and redo. Sometimes like when you're when it is the very first time that you're using Microsoft Word after installation, so many people may not be able to see the print preview button here. Okay, so you can add it, like you can click on this check this option and that button will appear here. It is very useful, like you should have it here. Okay. Then this is the title bar we said. So it is called a title bar for a specific reason. It carries the title of your document. So this document and the name of the application, it has not been named yet. Okay, so its default name is document 1. So by default name we mean whenever Microsoft Word creates a new document, it names it as document 1. Okay, that is the default name that it gives to any new document that you create. Now you can change it. Okay, we haven't saved this document yet. That's why Microsoft Word never asked us to change this name. For the very first time when you press the save button, okay, for the very first time when you press the save button, so Microsoft Word will ask you how do you want to save this file, like what kind of name do you want to give it, etc., and where do you want to save it. Okay, so say for example we want to name this document as a resume. Okay, so my resume, we want to name it as my resume, and here you see that automatically this is the name that you provide, and here you can see automatically it has this thing written .docx. Okay, so .docx, doc is for document, a short for document. So in the initial version of Microsoft Word, so the extension of the files of Word documents that you created, it used to be doc. So you can have old documents that were created with previous versions of Microsoft Word, and their this is called the file extension. Okay, this is called a file extension. Whenever you create a file on your hard drive, so the file, you have to name that file because you need to uniquely identify that file. And the name of a file has two components. One is the actual name and the other is its type. Okay, so the name of any file is the name of the file dot the type of the file. Okay, and the type of the file is specified by a file extension. Okay, so we can have different types of file extension. Let us come here. Let me clear this thing up. Okay, so we can have different types. So this is how you name a file. Okay, so first you specify a file name, then there is a dot, and then you specify the file extension. I'm simply writing it extension. Okay, file extension. So file extension basically specifies what type of file it is. Okay, say for example uh, we have different types of extensions. Now I'm using this format, asterisk. So asterisk means there can be here we can have a name, and that name can be anything, and then dot, and then I want to specify the different types of extensions. So for example, we have the extension doc. Okay, so doc is the extension for a Microsoft Word document, but that document which was created by previous versions of Microsoft Word. So what do you mean by previous version? So previous version is versions up until Word 2003. So up until Microsoft Word 2003, So Microsoft used doc as the extension for Word documents. Then after that, they started using docx. Okay, so now Word documents have the extension docx. So whenever your operating system sees this extension for any file, so it knows that I have to launch the latest version of Microsoft Word that is installed on your system. On your computer, I have to launch that software in order to open this file. Okay, so this is for Word um, 2003 onwards. Okay, so plus means after, so after Microsoft Word 2003. After, this is after Microsoft Word 2003. Okay, now we have other file extensions as well. For example, you just we just created an image and we saved it with extension .jpg. So this is basically JPEG image, file extension for JPEG image files. Then we have the BMP file extension. This is for bitmap image files. Okay. Then we can have we will be using Microsoft Excel as well. So whenever you create a file using Microsoft Excel, so you save it as Excel sheet, Excel sheet. So this is for Microsoft Excel sheets, and this is again just like Microsoft Word. This is for the previous versions of Microsoft Excel before 2003. Similarly, the new Excel files that you'll create with the latest version of Microsoft Office or Excel. So those Excel files, they have the extension XLSX. Okay, so the X has been added to it. I guess this is X has to do something with XML. So Microsoft started using okay, so let me say this is Microsoft Excel sheets after 2003. So those versions, so they use this file extension. Okay. Okay, so we said something about this X. Why did they add X? So X has something to do with XML. Okay, XML. So XML is a markup language. Markup language. What is a markup language? Okay, so markup language is another popular example of markup language is HTML. Okay, it is HTML. So I'm using Paint to write these things, and this is what happens. HTML. HTML is called a hypertext markup language. HTML is called a hypertext markup language. Okay. So what does it do? So all the web pages that you see, for example, if you go and visit any web page, let's go and visit say www.google.com. So here you see these different text and elements and images, and it is not a very good example of a web page. Let us go to another web page. Say for example, let us go to a university's web page. So here you see all these different types of text. So say for example this text. Now this is one column of text, and here this is the normal text that we have, the body text, and here we have the heading. Okay, similarly here we have headings and its color is different and all these things. Here you see these different types of buttons. Okay, so how does your browser know, like how should I show this text, where should this image be, what should be the font size of this text and all that. So all this information comes inside in this page. Okay, so it comes along with this page. So if you right click on this page and you click on this option view page source, so it will show you the source code. This is the HTML document that has been basically like loaded and shown to you. Okay, So say for example, this is how a markup language works. So every text that you have, it is basically marked up. It is specified like what does this text mean, okay, like what type of thing this is and how it should be formatted, how it should be displayed to the user. So say for example, this web page, its title is University of Engineering and Technology, Peshawar. Okay, so how do you specify the title? So you use these tags. So this is the tag, title tag, and this is another. This is the end title tag. Okay, so title tag begins here and it ends here. So when you use the title tag, so you basically specify that this is going to be the title of this web page. And where do you see that title? Here. The title appears here on the title bar. Okay, so now we have multiple tabs, so that's why you cannot see it fully, but it appears in this screen tip text. If we change it, okay, if somehow this is changed, the title that appears there will change. Similarly, not just the title here, but you can also see this UET logo here. It's an icon that has been saved, and this icon, like, it appears here. You specify about this icon here. This is how that icon is specified. So similarly, you can go through this text, this source code, and you will find a lot of source code here. So this is basically an example of HTML, HTML, a markup language HTML. So this is an HTML source file. Okay, this is an HTML source file, and every web page that you see on the internet, it is basically saved as HTML source file. And the browser that you use, so the browser knows how to display an HTML source file. It has all these instructions inside the document, the HTML document, that it has to show, like which element has to be shown in which particular way. So all the information is given here. So XML is also a markup language, much, and it works like much the same way as HTML, but its purpose was different. It was used for information interchange. Okay, so the interchange of data or information between different softwares. So that is why that is what was its purpose. So Microsoft started using XML for storing its documents. So documents or files, they are also used for storing information and exchanging information between different softwares and people. So Microsoft started using XML to store their Word documents and Excel sheets and all that. Okay, so I guess that's why this X, that is where this X comes from, docx and XLX and all these things. Okay, this went longer than I intended. So you specify the name, and then you have the extension, the file extension. Okay, so this is important. You should know about this. Then where should we save this file? So right now this OneDrive account, like, it appears to be the default account here, but we can have more options. Click on this more options button and you will have more options. So we can save it at different places. So some places are most recent places. So last week, the places that we used to store documents, and then older places, other places than that we used to store documents. If you want to select a place of your choice where you want to save this file, so you can do that. You can browse for that location. You can say browse, and then the browser's window will appear, and you can select a place where you can save this document. So you can go to documents folder, this folder, documents folder, and you can save this here, and let us save it here. Or you can pick another place of your choice. You can say you can go to another drive, and then you can say select another folder in there, and within that folder you can select another folder or create a new folder and then save it. Or you can simply go to the documents folder and save it there. Okay, so let me create a folder here, and let us call that folder as Introduction to Computing. Okay, so okay, So let us save it here. So it's my resume, and then save as type is Microsoft is a Word document. You can click on this button and you can save it in other formats as well. My Word 97 2003 document, so it will have the extension .doc. If you save it as Word document, it will have the extension .docx. Okay, you can save it in PDF format as well. So plenty of times we would like to be able to do that. You can also save it as a web page. So you can use Microsoft Word to create web pages as well. So you can do that as well. Okay. But let us forget about all those options and let us choose Microsoft Word document. Now this dialog box, if you look at it, this dialog box, it is called Save As dialog box. Okay, Save As. Here also you can see Save As. So we pressed the Save button, but we got the Save As dialog box. So why did we, how did we get that? So the very first time when you create a new document and you made changes to that document and you haven't saved that document. So for the very first time when you press the save button, so it acts like save as, okay? So why save as? Because you have not specified, you have not stored that document before, you have not specified a name for that document, you have not specified a location for that document. So the very first time when you press save, so the save as dialog box appears, okay? Now, after that, when you press save, no dialog box will appear, okay? So let me save it first. So we have saved it, okay? So now we can change, make more changes here. So say for example, Ehsanul Haq is a site engineer, okay? And then you can start with education, okay? So you can do those changes. So say for example, Ehsanul Haq went to University of Engineering and Technology, say Peshawar, okay? And when, from, and up till when. So you can make all these changes. Now we have made these changes, and now we want to save these changes. So you can press the save button here. Okay. So nothing appears, no dialog box appears. Okay. And the very first time when you press the save button, you got a dialog box. So you had those dialog boxes where you specified the name of the file and all that. Okay. So now let's say there are situations, and I'm sure you are quite aware of these situations because necessity is the mother of invention, and many of you might have wanted to copy some friend's homework or assignment or something like that. So if I want to make another copy of this file, my resume, and I want to create a resume for another person, so I can do that. How can I do that? So I can go to the file menu and I can say save as. Hmm? So I can say save as. Save would just save this file. Okay. But if I say save as, it will save it as a new file. Okay. Now that was my resume. This is my friend's resume. Okay. My friend's resume. And I want to save it in the same folder as my resume. So it's already selected. So let us say save. Okay. So now it is not my resume, it is my friend's resume. You can verify it from the title bar. So now it is not my resume, it is my friend's resume. And if you go to the documents folder, say for example you go to the documents folder, where is the documents folder? Here. So we created a folder introduction to computer. So now you have two files. One is my resume, that was the original resume that we were working on, and then we saved this one as my friend's resume. So another file was created. Okay, so you can use this other file like this is the file that stores the resume of our friend. So our friend is say Imamul Haq. Okay, they more sound like brothers more than friends. So Imamul Haq is say testing engineer, okay, or design engineer or something like that. Let us differentiate between the two. This is how it is. Okay, so the point was that like you have these two options, save and save as, and they are not the same. The very first time when you create a new document and when you want to save it, so you can save it. Um you can press the save button, and if it is the very first time that you press that button, you will get the save as dialog box. In that dialog box, you can specify the name of the file, the location of the file, and the type of the file. So after that, whenever you make changes to your document, say for example, we are making changes. We are making changes to my profile. So then you just need to press the save button, and your document will be saved. Okay. If I want to create another copy of it, then I have to go and press the save as option. Okay. Now, I want to talk about this was from the very beginning. Like this, these are the things that you might want to do initially. Like whenever you start Word, whenever you create a document, so you might have to deal with these things in the very beginning. After that, you might want to change things around. Okay. Now remember, one of the principles in Windows in general and Office, Microsoft Office software in particular. So I mentioned Microsoft Office software. So Microsoft Office basically is a suite of application software. So it has these different application software. One is Microsoft Word, which allows you to create documents, letters, books, theses, resumes, flyers. Like you can create all these different types of documents using Microsoft Word. The other is Microsoft Excel. So it allows you to do all those mathematics, accounting, and addition, subtraction, and calculating pays and salaries and fees and all these things. Like you can do all those things to a certain extent with Microsoft Excel and much more. You can do it. It's a very powerful tool. Then we have Microsoft PowerPoint. So PowerPoint allows you to make presentations and share your ideas with other people. Then we have Microsoft Outlook. It allows you to use email, like you have, if you want to communicate with your peers or other organizations, so you can use Microsoft Outlook. So Microsoft Office, all these softwares that I mentioned, they are part of the Microsoft Office suite of applications. Okay, so they usually have a common interface. Common interface means that this is the kind of interface that you'll almost see, like that you'll see almost everywhere. Okay, across all these applications. So you will have the home tab. Now these are different tabs. This is the file tab. Okay, so file tab, if you click on it, you'll get the file menu. Okay, so this is your file menu, list of options that have to deal with files. So you can open a file, you can create a new file, you can save the current file, save as, print it, share this file, export it, and change into something else, close it, and you can do other options related to your related to Microsoft. You can set other options related to Microsoft Word. Similarly, you have the most recent list of documents that you've worked on. You have these list of templates that you can use to create new documents and all that. Okay. Then you have this home tab. Okay. So in the home tab, you have this ribbon. This thing is called a ribbon. Okay. In on this ribbon, you have different groups of commands. Okay. So like this particular group of command, it has to do with your clipboard. Clipboard is, what is a clipboard? So clipboard is something, is a temporary, is a memory, is a temporary look, is an area where where you can keep things or store things temporarily. Okay. So say for example, we want to copy something, and say for example, I want to recreate another field here. So like I have education, work experience, skills. So I want to add another group here, say for example, and that group is uh, related to my research, say for example. So I would be doing something like this, like I want to have this thing, like if I want to talk about my research on my resume, so it should look like work experience and education, like the formatting should be the same, the like it should look like that. So one easy way of doing that is that I copy this thing. Okay, so I copy this thing and then I paste it down there. Okay, so in order to copy something, in order to do anything in Microsoft Word, you first need to do a selection. You need to select something. Okay, once you select something, then you can do something with it. So the first thing that you need to do is select. Okay, then do. So this is kind of the core philosophy of Microsoft Office. Okay, so let me write it here. Uh, this is kind of the core philosophy of Microsoft Office, and it is select, then do. Okay, so whenever you want to do something, first you need to select something. Okay, whenever you want to perform some action, you need to select something on which that action has to be performed. Okay, so I want to copy this thing. What do I want to copy? I want to copy this whole thing, so I need to select it first. So I hope you know how to select things. So you have to drag your mouse. Okay, you have to press the left mouse button and then you have to drag your mouse. Okay, so starting from here up until here. So now this text is selected. So when it is selected, then you can do something with it. So say I want to copy it. So you can copy it by coming to this menu related to clipboard. There is this is copy. Okay, so copy uh, in many in maybe in a different version of Microsoft Word, it would be available in the edit menu. So there might be an edit menu here or an edit tab here. So it would be available there. But right now it is available on this ribbon here. Okay, so you can use copy, and once you press this button, copy button, so this text would be copied into an area of RAM that is called clipboard, an area of RAM that is called clipboard. Okay, so let us press copy here. Okay, so when we copied this text, so it has been copied to an area in your random access memory, and that area is called the clipboard. Okay, so and your operating system, basically Microsoft Windows, manages that clipboard. Now that text, whatever we copied here, it is available to us almost everywhere. Okay, so I can use that thing here as well. Okay, so let me paste it. So see, I copied this text and I'm pasting it here in 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 an image that I'm creating in Microsoft Paint. So why was I able to do that? I was able to do that because this text that I copied, it went to an area in the random access memory called the clipboard. It is still there, and from there I can paste it anywhere. I can paste it anywhere. So we have the paste button here. Okay, and for the paste there is a shortcut control plus V. So you can use the shortcut control plus V to paste things, and for copy we have the shortcut keyboard shortcut control plus C. Okay, so you should be aware of these common shortcuts that you can use. So copy just creates a copy of it and puts it places in on the keyboard, on the sorry, clipboard. Okay, so clipboard is basically an area in your random access memory that is used for storing data temporarily. Okay, so this text is still there. This text that we copied, it is still there. So I can paste it here as well. I can paste it here as well. So if I want to paste it here, I can simply say paste, or I can press the buttons control plus V. Okay, so when I do that, so this text is copied here. Okay, so this text is copied here. Now we have two things that have research experience and all that. Okay, sorry, work experience. So I wanted basically to write about my research profile or experience here. Okay, so research profile or research publications. I wanted to write about my research publications here. If there is someone who is applying for a position that is related to research, so that person needs to talk about his or her research publications. Okay, so you can do that here. So what we did was copy and paste. Understand? Okay, so I hope like copy and paste. So copy, basically you can copy anything in a Word document. You can copy it. When you copy it, it goes to your clipboard. Clipboard is basically memory location, an area in your random access memory. A clipboard is an area in your random access memory. So that text or image or whatever you copy, it goes into that area. And then from there you can access it. You can paste it inside Microsoft Paint, inside Microsoft PowerPoint, Microsoft Excel, like all these applications, you can paste it, you can use it. Okay. Now, since we are already talking about paste, so before that, we mentioned that the core philosophy of Microsoft Word is, or Microsoft Office application is, select then do. Whenever you want to do something, you need to first make a selection. You need to select something and then you will apply that action to that thing. Okay. Since we are talking about paste, so let me mention another thing here. Uh, okay. So since we're talking about paste, so there is another variation of paste that you need to be aware of. So right now, like here, I was working on my resume, and inside my resume, I wanted to look. I wanted all parts of my resume to have a consistent look. Okay, so education, like if you see the font of education and the other formatting details, so they are similar to work experience. And similarly, if you look at the formatting of research publications, it is similar to work experience and all that. Okay, so this is what I wanted to do. Like I wanted these to look exactly the same. That is why I did a copy and paste. Okay, I wanted, because it is my resume. Now if it has a different format and this thing has a different format, so that does not look nice. There should be a uniform and consistent look. So that is why I did a copy and paste. But at times you may want to have you may not want to do that. So let me give an example. Let us create a blank document. So I went to the file menu and here I am creating a blank document. Okay. So this is another document, new document. It has been named document 2. Let us save it. When we save it for the first time, save as dialog box appears. Let us give it a name. This is a test document, test doc, and let us save it along with the other documents here. Okay, so let us save it here. It's fine. Okay, so right now what I want to show you is that we copied this thing from our resume and we pasted it here. Okay, now it is still available on the clipboard. So if I paste it in this new document, I'll get the same text. Okay, so I have the same text here as well. Okay, this is fine. Okay, it looks more or less the same. Okay, if you feel any difference, the difference comes because of the space in which this thing is located. So this thing is spread over half the page, and there it is spread over the entire page. So because of the width, there is this difference in look. Otherwise, it is all the same. Now we have another type of paste available to us. This paste that we did, this was an exact paste. Whatever text and formatting uh, this original text had, it was pasted in exactly the same way. Okay, but you can change that as well. So if you look at the paste button, we have this drop down arrow here. So if you click here, then you can choose different paste options. So you have these different paste options. So for example, you have is the first one is using destination theme. So wherever you are pasting it, so it would use the theme of that destination. Second is keep source formatting. Yeah, this one is a little bit changed. So now it is because it was changed to fit into the format of destination and the document that it is being pasted into. Okay, so if you want to keep the original formatting, you can choose keep source formatting. If we want to merge the formatting of the two, we can choose that too. Some options of the original and some from this will be merged together. If you want to keep just the text, you can do that as well. So there won't be any formatting, just the text. Okay, so nothing would appear bold. Nothing if there are nothing would appear italic. There won't be any underlying or all that. You will only get plain text. You can do that as well, and you can paste it as an image as well. Okay. So if you can paste the text as an image as well. So if you choose that option, now this is an image. You have pasted that text as an image. It is not editable. You cannot change it like this text. Okay, so this text you can change it. For example, here I can say 2020, say for example, and here we can like change it. We can say no responsibilities. So here you can, but this is an image, you cannot edit it. So you have all these options with paste. Okay. Acha, next is, so I will briefly go through all these options. So I hope you understand how copy works, how paste works, and what are the different options that you have in paste. So I hope you understand that. You can set the default paste. Okay, so you can set which option is the default. Okay, so you'll be taken here. uh, here you can set which option will be the default paste option. Okay, let us not go through that. You can explore this option down here, paste cut copy paste. So right now the default option within the same document is keep source formatting, pasting between documents, keep source formatting. These are default settings. Okay, so if you want to change these, you can change these. And I hope you understand the clipboard, all the idea. There's one option called cut. So cut is slightly different than paste. Okay, so sorry, copy. Copy creates a copy. Cut removes the original. So if, for example, I cut this thing, like say for example, I cut this thing. So let me cut it. So it will appear here, disappear from this location, from the original location. And then you can paste it anywhere else. That you can do, but from the original location it will disappear. That is cut. Okay, and remember one thing about the clipboard. So right now only this thing is available on the clipboard. Okay, the previous data that was available on the clipboard, that is no longer available. Right now only this thing is available on the clipboard, and I'm pasting it from the clipboard again and again, so there's no problem with that. Now let me walk you through the interface of Microsoft Word. So this was related to the clipboard. Here, this group of commands, it is related to the font. So if you want to format the font, you can use this group of commands. Okay. So for example, and again the philosophy is select then do. So first you need to select and then do something. So say for example we want to change the font size. So uh, if you can use certain commands directly from here, like if you want to make it bold, just select bold. If you want to make it italic, select italic and it will become italic. If you want to underline it, you can select underline and it will be underlined. And if you cannot see it properly, let us increase the font size. So by pressing this button, I'm increasing the font size, and you can see this text is getting bigger and bigger. And if it is too big, So you can decrease the font size, you can do that. Okay. Similarly, if you want to change the font type, you don't like Calibri. Okay. So you love PMLN, but you don't love Calibri. So you can change the font type. Let us change the font type. You have these different types of fonts options available to you. Okay. Usually you should not be experimenting too much with these fonts whenever you're writing some technical reports or documents. So usually the standard is that you either use Times New Roman, or you in some cases maybe for headings or something like that you might use Arial. Okay, so you go by a few font types. If you're creating something artistic, then you can experiment and play around with different font types. Okay, but other than that, there are certain fonts that you use, and the others, then there are others that you try to avoid. Okay, so Cambria is also a good font. You can use it. And then there is Palatino Linotype Pala. You can search if you know the font's name. You can search for it. Okay, so you can search for it. This is also a good font. You can use it. Okay, so if you want to change the font type, you can do that here. Then you can change font color. This would basically change the font's color. Right now, uh, like it is black automatic, but you can change it. Say for example, let us make it red or blue. Sorry, purple, and this is blue, dark blue. Okay, so you can change the font color. If you click on this button here, so you will be taken to the font dialog box. So this dialog box deals with the font. Okay, let me close it again. Let us select this thing and let us go to the fonts dialog box. Okay, so now here you have all the options available to you. So you can, like during editing, you can, if you want somebody to remove some text, so you can suggest remove this text. So you can do a strike through. Okay, so I don't know whether you like it or not, but these are different options that are available to you. Double strike through, superscript. I hope you know what a superscript and subscript is. I'll show you shortly. You can turn a text into all caps. Okay, so that this is what it means, all caps. Everything would be capitalized. Let us undo it. You can turn it into small caps. Okay, so small caps also look fancy. In titles, some people use it in titles. So small caps is like if you have written something in capital, that will appear as a cap in caps, but slightly bigger. And the other letters, they will also appear, but slightly smaller. For example, if I write R as a capital letter, Shift R. If I write type R by doing Shift plus R, so it will appear as this. It is in caps, uppercase letter, but it is slightly bigger than the other ones. Okay. Okay, let us go back to the font. So here you have all these options. So these are related to font type, font style like italic, bold, or regular. Size, uh, here, like you can make it smaller, 26. Okay. And then there are some advanced options. For example, you can change the spacing between, if you feel that these uh, letters, they are very close to each other, you can increase the spacing between these letters. So you can go to the advanced options, and then we have character spacing. Here you can go to spacing and you can select expand it. So if you want to increase the spacing, you can expand them. By how much? So this is the unit, 1 point. So 1 point would be very small. Let us say increase the spacing by 4 points at least. You can get a preview here, so that will also give you an idea like how does it look. So let us expand it by uh, 4 points. So now the characters will look expanded. They will appear expanded. Okay, so you can use it for certain types of documents in certain situations. You can do that. Okay. Similarly, you can change the position of this text. By position, we mean that right now this text is in its normal position. Okay, normal position in the middle of the line. But you can lower its position or raise its position. Okay, how can you do that? Uh, Let me undo whatever I've done. Undo. Okay, and now look here. Let us decrease its size. Now look at responsibilities, or look at this word as. Okay, so let us go to the font menu and let us go to the advanced and let's see its position. So it now right now it is in its normal position. We can raise it. Okay, raise it means raise it from its normal position so that it appears above the line. That may be helpful in certain situations. So let us raise it, say 8 points. So see, so now it appears raised as compared to the normal text. Or let us now this may be useful in certain situations, in certain documents or in certain types of things you might want to create to do this. You can lower it as well. Okay, so let us lower it further, 6 points. So you can lower it as well. So these are the advanced options, some of the advanced options that you can use for formatting. Now we talked about subscripts and superscripts. They also appear here as well. Okay, so say for example, if you want to write some expressions like say for example, you want to write expressions like these: a1 x sorry a1 x square plus b1 x plus c1 is equal to 0. Say for example, now this is the some form of the quadratic equation. So here a1 1 would we want the 1 to appear as a subscript, a sub 1. So you can go and select this option, subscript. So it will appear as a subscript. And when we want 2 to appear as a superscript, as a power, so you can check this thing, x square, a1 x square, and then b1, and say it does not have any power, it is 1, so we don't write it, but you can use the subscript and superscript options to write these kind of expressions. This is c1, it should also appear as a subscript. Okay, and if like one does not appear subscript enough, if you think that it is, although it is a subscript, but it is not a good enough subscript, so you can lower its position. Okay, so now it may appear as more of a subscript. Okay, so you can do that as well using the lower option. Similarly, there are other options as well, like this is highlight option. You can highlight certain text. If you are reviewing a document, you can highlight it and you can add comments to it. So I've done that. Say for example, for one of my students, I have done that. Let me open that for you. Let us go to the file menu and open open a document. So this document is this one. Okay, so we have worked on it, say for example. So let us go. Where were we? Pick up from where you left off. So this is like we are when somebody asks you to somebody gives you a document and asks you to, okay, can you review this document for me? So you can do that. You can start reading that document, and then you can ask that person, okay, this is what you need to do in this part or that part. Say for example, let us read this part. uh, a convolutional neural CNN for short is a specialized type of neural network model designed to work with two-dimensional image data, although it can be used with one-dimensional and three-dimensional data. Okay, so for example, here I can ask the student, okay, instead of two-dimensional, I highlight it, and I say instead of two-dimensional, you need to write 2D. Okay, how can I tell that to my student? So if you select this text, okay, and if your pointer stays here on the selected area, you get this uh, toolbar. Okay, so in this toolbar you have different options that you can, different commands available to you that you can directly use here. Okay, so like you can bold it, change the formatting of the text. You can like make it bulleted. You can change its style and all that. You can also add a comment here. Okay, you can say insert, you can add a comment here. The comment will become part of your document. So in that comment, I can ask the student, okay, instead of using two-dimensional or writing two-dimensional, write it as write it as 2D. Okay, 2D, 3D, 1D. So I can say something like this. So this was just to give you an example, like why and how would you use the highlight option. So now when the student goes through this document, so it will be easier for him or her to find out highlighted text, and then my comment, like what needs to be done with that text. So you can also find the comment option in the insert menu. So if you go to the insert menu by clicking on the insert tab, so here you have different groups. Okay, so here you have this group of comments, and here you can find the comment option. You can click on this option and you can add comments to your document. Okay, okay. Similarly, you have these options are available: increase text font size, decrease font size, and then this option is for clearing formatting. So if, for example, this is a text, it is formatted in a certain way, and if you want to clear this formatting, so you can click this button. So it will clear all formatting, and now it will be reduced into a simple text. You can format it anew. Okay, so if you want to format it in a new way, so you can do that. So clear formatting is also a very useful command, especially if you are like getting text from multiple documents into one. So in order to do that smoothly, you can use the clear formatting option. Okay. Similarly, we have this change case option. Like this is a shortcut. This is a toolbar on which many of the commands available here, many of the commands that are available here. So those commands are available to here as shortcuts. Okay, so if you want to look at all the commands available to you, all the things that you can do to a font, you can go to the font menu, font formatting menu, font menu. Or if you know if you want to use certain commands, you can directly access those commands here. So this is change case. Like you can make it as, you have different options: sentence case, lowercase. Lowercase will make everything into lowercase. Sentence case will capitalize the first uh, uh, letter in the sentence. Okay, uppercase will convert everything into uppercase. Capitalize each word will make the first letter of each word as a capital letter. And toggle case, like it will invert. If something is in small case, it will make it uppercase, and if something is in uppercase, it will make it small case. So you can use these all these options. Okay. uh, and then there is this text effects and typography. Like, you can explore it. I will not go into all the details, but you can explore it. Next to the font group of commands, we have the paragraph group of commands. Again, this is very important in Microsoft Word. So you should know about all these commands. So the first and most important for paragraph is the alignment of paragraph. So right now, this paragraph is justified. Justified means there is no empty space on either side of the paragraph, left side or right side. So the text, like all the lines, they are full of text. Okay, so there is no empty space here. You can change it. You can make it left aligned. Left aligned means there won't be any empty space to the left of the paragraph. There can be empty. If a word doesn't fit here, for example, dimensional is too big to fit here, so it is moved to the next line. Okay, the convolutional here more or less. So all these lines, like, they don't end at the same place to the right. Why? Because they are left aligned. The word processor, Microsoft Word, only ensures that the left side, uh, the text on each line begins at the same place on the left side. So on the right, it can go anywhere. If you make it center aligned, okay, if you make it center aligned, so all this text, it will be aligned to the center. On the left and right, you will have equal empty spaces. You can make it right aligned. Okay, so now everything is aligned to the right, or you can make it justified. Okay, so justified means that there is no empty space on either the left or the right side of this thing. Okay, similarly, you have these bulleting options available to you. Like, you can create lists uh, in Microsoft Word. So list has entries numbered according to a certain thing. So you can do that. Now, before we go in there, let me show you something again. Now, we removed the formatting of this thing. Okay, we said we use this command, clear formatting, and formatting was removed. Say, for example, we want to reformat it as this thing. So one way would be to check out कि इसका font क्या है, उसका color क्या है, और font type, font size, सारी चीज़ों का पता लगाना, और फिर वो सारा इसको apply करना. The other thing is to use something called format copier. Okay, format painting, sorry. So we select this thing. ठीक है, हम चाहते हैं कि जो इसकी formatting हो वही formatting इसकी भी हो जाए, ये जो text है. उसके लिए पहले क्या करेंगे? We will select this text, and this is called a format painter. Okay, so we will click on this format painter. अब ये format painter क्या करेगा? जो इसकी formatting है ना, वो information लेके जहाँ जहाँ आप जिस टेक्स्ट को फॉर्मेट इस तरह से फॉर्मेट करना चाहते हैं, आप उस पेज को पेंट करते जाएं. So now it is formatted accordingly. ठीक है. अच्छा, से फॉर एग्जांपल पैराग्राफ, पूरा पूरा का पूरा पैराग्राफ अगर हम ऐसा करना चाहते हैं तो वो भी हम कर सकते हैं. ठीक है. So now the whole paragraph turns into that. So this is called format painter. So format painter is a very useful tool that you can use for formatting some new text according to existing आपके पास जो text है उसके format को अगर आप paint करना चाहते हैं और आप नए text को उस तरह से format करना चाहते हैं, so you can use that format painter जो है उसको आप use कर सकते हैं for that purpose. ठीक है. अच्छा जी. Now I wanted to show you कि आप bulleting भी use कर सकते हैं. ठीक है, यानी you can create bulleted lists inside your document. अगर आपकी document में you want to you have a list of things to talk about, so you can do that. Okay, so for example here we have a sequence of steps. Okay, so the sequence of steps इनका इन्होंने they have created this a bulleted list. So first of all, let us remove the formatting. So let us clear formatting. So now it is nothing. So ठीक है, it is simple text. बट आप चाहते हैं कि जी पहले क्या हो, फिर क्या हो, फिर क्या हो, आप ये बताना चाहते हैं. So you can number it, you can give it the look or shape of a list. ठीक है, So one is called a simple bulleted list. So you can create a bulleted list like this, ठीक है? And the other is कि आप इसको number करें कि नहीं, we should have a numbered list. So you can create a numbered list, ठीक है? So just by selecting this, you can create a numbered list. Similarly, if you want this number to be different, like sometimes you would like numbering to be A, B, C, or in Romans, so you can select different options. You can say one Roman letters. You can do that. You can do that in alphabets. Okay, you can do that. अच्छा, or you can create your own type. अगर आप यहाँ पे देखें वैसे there is more spacing between the lines here. Line spacing यहाँ पे मुख्तलिफ है और यहाँ पे मुख्तलिफ है, ठीक है? So we can change that as well. जब हमने formatting remove कर ली तो वो line spacing भी change हो गई. अच्छा, font size तो ये 12 है, this is 10. So let us first increase the font size as well, and then the line spacing. Line spacing needs to be different. अच्छा जी. So this is how you can create क्या कहते हैं lists, ठीक है? तो numbered lists, bulleted lists, you can do that. अच्छा, अब अगर आप इस लिस्ट में चेंजेस करते हैं, image input, say for example I do something, image resizing, say for example, तो यहाँ पे जब मैंने एंटर प्रेस किया तो डायरेक्टली जो है वो नई एंट्री जो है वो इट अपीयर्ड एज अ बुलेटेड एंट्री, ठीक है, एज अ नंबर्ड एंट्री इन दिस लिस्ट. अच्छा, now you can also, let us remove this entry. अच्छा, अब यहाँ पे आ जाएं इमेज प्री प्रोसेसिंग. अगर आप यहाँ पे बताना चाहते हैं कि जी इमेज प्री प्रोसेसिंग में हो गया क्या, सो यू कैन एलैबोरेट ऑन दैट एज वेल, ठीक है? तो वो क्या कहेंगे, वो कैसे आप शो करेंगे, यू विल शो दैट एज अ सीक्वेंस ऑफ सब स्टेप्स, ठीक है? तो सब स्टेप्स आप, यानी यहाँ पे मैंने अब टैब की प्रेस की, आपकी कीबोर्ड पे देयर इज अ की जिस पे लिखा होता है, आई एट टाइम्स पे लिखा होता है टैब, या देयर इज एन एरो लाइक दिस, ठीक है? ये मैं आपको बता देता हूँ. या तो उस पे देयर वुड बी एन एरो लाइक दिस, एक एरो होगा, ठीक है, और उसके सामने देयर वुड बी अ स्ट्रेट लाइन. So this is the tab key. ये जो की है ना, this is the tab key, TAB. Either there it would be written explicitly कि this is the tab key, और उसके ऊपर ये एरो होगा और यही एरो फिर इन्वर्टेड दूसरी डायरेक्शन में, यानी आपके पास ये इस डायरेक्शन में भी ये एरो होगा, ठीक है? So this key is the tab key. So tab key जो है, it has a very important purpose in Microsoft Word और जो भी हमारे पास ऑफिस सॉफ्टवेयर्स हैं. So it can be used for promotion and demotion, ठीक है ना? promotion क्या कहते हैं, किसी को आप ऊंची सीट पे ले जाएं, प्रमोट हो जाए. एक बंदा है वो असिस्टेंट इंजीनियर है तो वो फिर सीनियर इंजीनियर बन जाता है, फिर वो चीफ इंजीनियर. so this is promotion. डिमोशन क्या होती है, चीफ इंजीनियर है उसको आप डेप्टी चीफ इंजीनियर बना दें, या डेप्टी चीफ इंजीनियर से सीनियर इंजीनियर बना दें, या जूनियर इंजीनियर बना दें. so this is demotion. Now this is a list. इस लिस्ट में वी हैव ये जो तमाम एंट्रीज हैं, दे आर एट द सेम लेवल, ठीक है, दे आर एट द सेम लेवल. अच्छा, अच्छा, अब अगर एक एंट्री हम क्रिएट करना चाहते हैं विच इज़ नॉट एट द सेम लेवल बट एट अ सब लेवल, तो हम क्या करेंगे, वी विल प्रेस, यहाँ पे आप पहले हमने एंटर की प्रेस किया, ठीक है, एंटर की प्रेस किया, वी केम हियर. नाउ वी कैन प्रेस द टैब की. जब आप टैब की प्रेस करेंगे तो ये एंट्री डिमोट हो जाएगी, ठीक है? सो हम कहते हैं कि जी इमेज प्री प्रोसेसिंग में सबसे पहले हम करेंगे इमेज रीसाइजिंग, say for example resizing, and then we will do image color removal, say for example. अच्छा, say these are the steps that we want to do. अच्छा, अब यहाँ पे ये जो दो steps है ना, these are sub steps of image processing. So that's why ये ऐसे इनको नज़र आना चाहिए कि they should look like sub steps. तो इनको हमने थोड़ा सा अंदर इंडेंट करना है। इंडेंट से मुराद इनका फासला जो है, यानी ये जो टेक्स्ट है इसका डिस्टेंस फ्रॉम दिस टेक्स्ट इट शुड बी मोर, यानी या पेज का जो मार्जिन है, दिस इज द मार्जिन ऑफ द पेज, जहाँ से टेक्स्ट स्टार्ट होता है, ठीक है। तो पेज के मार्जिन से इसका फासला ज़्यादा होगा बनिस्बत इसके, ठीक है। दिस इज कॉल्ड इंडेंटेशन। इसको क्या कहते हैं? इंडेंटेशन। इंडेंटेशन, अंदर की तरफ आप डेंट डालते हैं, ठीक है, इंडेंट और इंडेंटेशन। तो ये जो इंडेंटेशन है इट बेसिकली शोज के दिस इज अ सब स्टेप, दिस इज अ सब स्टेप, दिस इज पार्ट ऑफ इमेज प्री प्रोसेसिंग, ठीक है। एंड हाउ डू यू डू दैट? यू डू दैट बाय यूजिंग द टैब की, ठीक है। अच्छा, तो वी डू दैट, इंडेंटेशन करते हैं और इंडेंटेशन जो है वो डीमोशन को जाहिर करता है, ठीक है। एंड वी डू इट बाय प्रेसिंग द टैब की। अच्छा, अब अगर आप किसी चीज़ को प्रमोट करना चाहते हैं, ठीक है, से फॉर एग्जांपल गलती से हमने फीचर एक्सट्रैक्शन को भी इसमें डाल दिया है इमेज प्री प्रोसेसिंग में, बाद में पता चला नहीं, प्री प्रोसेसिंग फीचर एक्सट्रैक्शन इज अ सेपरेट स्टेप, इट इज़ नॉट पार्ट ऑफ इमेज प्री प्रोसेसिंग, ठीक है। तो इसका क्या मतलब है कि जी हमें अब फीचर एक्सट्रैक्शन को प्रमोट करना है, इट शुड बी एट द सेम लेवल एज इमेज प्रोसेसिंग। तो हाउ डू यू डू दैट? यू डू दैट बाय प्रमोटिंग इट। प्रमोट किस तरह करते हैं? हम ये जो इंडेंटेशन है इसको रिमूव करते हैं, ठीक है। सो वी रिमूव इंडेंटेशन, इंडेंटेशन, दिस इज प्रमोशन, हम इसको प्रमोट कर देते हैं, बड़ा कर देते हैं, ठीक है। एंड हाउ डू यू डू दैट? बाय प्रेसिंग शिफ्ट प्लस टैब। सो शिफ्ट टैब को प्रेस करने से आप इसको प्रमोट कर देते हैं। सो वो प्रेस करने के लिए योर माउस कर्सर शुड बी हियर, आप यहाँ क्लिक करें ताकि आपका कर्सर यहाँ पे आ जाए, एंड देन यू शिफ्ट, प्रेस शिफ्ट एंड टैब। तो जब आप वो प्रेस करेंगे तो ये क्या हो जाएगा? प्रमोट हो जाएगा, दिस वुड बी प्रमोटेड। अच्छा जी, यू कैन डू इट, यहाँ पे आपके पास ये बटन्स अवेलेबल हैं, लाइक यू कैन इंक्रीज द इंडेंट, यू कैन डिक्रीज द इंडेंट, और इनके कीबोर्ड शॉर्टकट्स क्या हैं? टैब की और शिफ्ट प्लस टैब, ठीक है। अगर आप देखें इसको, आप जैसे जैसे इंडेंट करते जाते हैं ना तो ये बुलेट्स का स्टाइल चेंज होता है, ये स्टाइल इसका चेंज होता जाता है, ठीक है। अच्छा, आप अगर चाहते हैं कि ये दिस शुड आल्सो लुक लाइक नंबर्ड, यानी दिस शुड आल्सो बी नंबर्ड, इसमें हमें बुलेटेड नहीं चाहिए, तो यू कैन गो एंड सेलेक्ट दिस ऑप्शन एज वेल। तो मल्टी लेवल लिस्ट आप सेलेक्ट कर सकते हैं, तो उसमें मुख्तलिफ तरीके हैं आपके पास, मुख्तलिफ ऑप्शन हैं। यू कैन आइदर गो के हमारे पास नंबर्ड अल्फ़ाबेट्स फिर रोमन्स हों, या वी शुड हैव समथिंग लाइक दिस, so you can go for this, let's say, so this is one, उसके लिए फिर सबको शायद एक से, so let us select all this list and let us format it as a multi level list. Okay, so now this is step 1, this is step 2, this is step 2.1, step 2.2, 3, 4, 5, so you can do that, ठीक है। अच्छा, अगेन वी वर टॉकिंग अबाउट कि जी यहाँ पे ये जो पैराग्राफ है इसकी लाइन स्पेसिंग, यानी इसमें टेक्स्ट ज़रा खुला खुला नज़र आ रहा है, यहाँ पे ज़रा कम कम खुला नज़र आ रहा है, ठीक है। सो दिस इज़ अफेक्टेड बाय टू थिंग्स, यानी ये जो आप पैराग्राफ देख रहे हैं इसमें लाइनों के बीच स्पेसिंग जो है, टेक्स्ट कितना खुला नज़र आ रहा है, इसकी दो वजूहात हो सकती हैं। वन इज़ कि किसी पैराग्राफ के अंदर लाइंस, इंडिविजुअल लाइंस के बीच कितना डिस्टेंस है। दूसरा, अगर आपके पास इफ़ यू हैव मल्टीपल पैराग्राफ्स, तो हर पैराग्राफ और दूसरे पैराग्राफ के बीच फिर कितना डिस्टेंस है। तो यू कैन चेंज दैट, यहाँ पे आपके पास शॉर्टकट्स भी अवेलेबल हैं। सो दिस इज़ बेसिकली लाइन स्पेसिंग, ठीक है। तो आप अगर इसको सेलेक्ट कर लें तो करेंटली लाइन स्पेसिंग है 1.5 लाइन्स, ठीक है। तो नॉर्मल जो होती है वो 1 होती है, ठीक है। सो दिस इज़ नॉर्मल, बाय डिफ़ॉल्ट दिस इज़ व्हाट यू हैव, बट यूजुअली जब आप कोई टेक्निकल डॉक्यूमेंट लिख रहे हो तो आप उसमें लाइन स्पेसिंग को बढ़ाते हैं। ताकि आपको टेक्स्ट जो है वो आसानी से नज़र आए और आसानी से आप उसको रीड कर सकें। ठीक है, तो लाइन स्पेसिंग जो है वो नॉर्मली 1.5 होती है और आप इसको बढ़ा के 2 भी कर सकते हैं। ठीक है, तो आप देखें इसमें 1.5 लाइन स्पेसिंग है, इस पैराग्राफ में लाइन स्पेसिंग 2 है। सो यहाँ टेक्स्ट आपको ज़्यादा इजीली और खुला नज़र आ रहा है, यहाँ पे टेक्स्ट ज़रा इतना मे बी ईजिली रीडेबल ना हो, बट यू कैन डू दैट। ठीक है, अच्छा जी, यहाँ पे फिर ऐड स्पेस बिफोर पैराग्राफ और रिमूव स्पेस आफ्टर पैराग्राफ, ये ऑप्शंस भी आपके पास अवेलेबल हैं। ये तमाम ऑप्शंस आपको बहुत ज़्यादा डिटेल में फिर यहाँ पे पैराग्राफ के उस मेन्यू में मिल जाएंगे। सो इफ़ यू कम हेयर, तो यहाँ आपके पास फिर बहुत सारी ऑप्शंस हैं। स्पेसिंग के हवाले से ऑप्शन आपके पास यहाँ पे दो टैब्स हैं, एक है इंडेंट्स एंड स्पेसिंग, दूसरा लाइन एंड पेज ब्रेक्स। उसको बाद में देखेंगे अगर टाइम मिला। स्पेसिंग में आप जो है लाइन स्पेसिंग को मैनिपुलेट कर सकते हैं। ठीक है, सो राइट नाउ लाइन स्पेसिंग यानी इस पैराग्राफ की हर दो लाइंस के बीच जो स्पेसिंग है वो डबल है, हमने डबल रखी है, और इसको आप चेंज कर सकते हैं। यू कैन मेक इट सिंगल और यू कैन मेक इट 1.5 जो कि इस और पूरे डॉक्यूमेंट में है। ठीक है, यू कैन मेक इट 1.5 लाइन्स। ठीक है, अच्छा, नाउ लेट्स सी, यहाँ पे हमारे पास ये जो टेक्स्ट है इसकी हम लाइन स्पेसिंग जो है वो ठीक करते हैं, क्योंकि ये ज़रा मुख्तलिफ लग रहा है बाकी जो हमारा टेक्स्ट है। तो इसको कैसे चेंज करेंगे? इसको चेंज करेंगे इस तरीके से कि इसमें अगर आप देखें लाइन स्पेसिंग हमारे पास सिंगल है। ठीक है, तो लाइन स्पेसिंग को नॉर्मल बनाने के लिए और डॉक्यूमेंट की तरह बनाने के लिए हम इसको 1.5 कर देते हैं। जब आप 1.5 करेंगे so it this list would look like the other list। ठीक है, the other text उनकी तरह का नजर आएगा। अच्छा, दूसरा जो स्पेसिंग में हमने कहा था यानी आपके डॉक्यूमेंट की लुक को जो अफेक्ट कर सकता है, दैट इज एक तो पैराग्राफ के अंदर लाइनों के बीच स्पेसिंग, दूसरा दो पैराग्राफ्स या कोई नया पैराग्राफ जब शुरू होता है उससे पहले कितनी स्पेसिंग है या उसके बाद में कितनी स्पेसिंग है। यहाँ अगर आप देखें ये जो पैराग्राफ है ये इसके बाद देयर इज स्पेसिंग, यानी इस पैराग्राफ और ये जो टेक्स्ट है इन दोनों के बीच देयर इज स्पेसिंग, बट इससे पहले देयर इज नॉट मच स्पेसिंग। ये जो हेडिंग आपको नज़र आ रही है और ये जो पैराग्राफ है इसके बीच इतनी ज़्यादा स्पेसिंग हमें नज़र नहीं आ रही। ठीक है, यहाँ पे है स्पेसिंग। ठीक है, यानी ये जो पैराग्राफ है इससे पहले भी स्पेसिंग है, इसके बाद में भी स्पेसिंग है। ठीक है, लेट अस सी दिस वुड बी, यहाँ पे आप देख सकते हैं कि इस पैराग्राफ के पहले और बाद में दोनों जगहों पे स्पेसिंग, देयर इज अ लॉट ऑफ स्पेसिंग। ठीक है, यहाँ पे ऐसा नहीं है। अच्छा, तो यू कैन चेंज दैट। इस पैराग्राफ को हमने सिलेक्ट कर लिया है, लेट अस गो टू द पैराग्राफ फॉर्मेटिंग मेन्यू, और यहाँ पे आप देखें ना इसकी जो स्पेसिंग है बिफोर 0 है, बिफोर दिस पैराग्राफ देयर इज नो स्पेसिंग, आफ्टर वी हैव 8 पॉइंट्स स्पेसिंग। ठीक है, 8 point, what is the point? So point जो है these are units that Microsoft Office uses internally, and I guess 72 points जो हैं that is equal to 1 inch, so 1 physical inch of length is equal to 72 points। so आप उससे अंदाज़ा लगा सकते हैं कि 8 points पर कितना फासला होगा। ठीक है, अच्छा, so if you want to increase the spacing before a paragraph, so you can do that, you can increase the spacing here। so say इसको भी हम 8 points कर देते हैं। आप इसको वहाँ बटन अप और डाउन बटन्स के जरिए भी चेंज कर सकते हैं, यू कैन डायरेक्टली एंटर द वैल्यू एज वेल। सो हमने इसको 8 पॉइंट्स कर दिया से फॉर एग्जांपल। ठीक है, तो अब अगर आप इसको देखें तो अब ये जो पैराग्राफ है इससे पहले देयर इज सम स्पेस ना। ठीक है, देयर इज सम स्पेस बिफोर दिस पैराग्राफ। अच्छा, यहाँ पे आ जाएं, यहाँ पे ये जो पैराग्राफ है इसके बिफोर और आफ्टर देयर इज स्पेस। सो अच्छा, बिफोर इसके नहीं है, बिफोर शायद आफ्टर इसके दूसरे वाले के है। सो बिफोर इट हैज़ 0, बट ये जो है ना मिडल में आ रहा है। सो ये जो टेक्स्ट है इसके आफ्टर देयर इज 8 पॉइंट। इसको अगर आप फर्ज के 0 कर दें तो अब ये जो पैराग्राफ है तो इसका भी आपको टेक्स्ट जो है वो कंजेस्टेड नज़र आ रहा होगा, मतलब देयर इज़ नो स्पेसिंग बिटवीन दिस पैराग्राफ एंड दिस हेडिंग, ये जो हेडिंग दी गई है इस इन दोनों के बीच देयर इज नो स्पेसिंग, सो यू कैन चेंज दैट। ठीक है, आप इसको चेंज कर सकते हैं। so you let us make it 12 points। ठीक है, सो यू कैन डू दैट। कहने का मकसद ये है कि यूजिंग द पैराग्राफ फॉर्मेटिंग मेन्यू you can change the way your paragraph looks, you can do that। ठीक है, अच्छा, there are other options available as well। यहाँ पे आप देख सकते हैं शेडिंग है, you can shade a paragraph। ठीक है, so right now there is no shade but you can add a shade to it। ठीक है, so मैं इसको let us shade it, so हमने इस पैराग्राफ को शेड कर दिया। ठीक है, so you can shade a paragraph। Similarly you can add borders to a paragraph, आप पैराग्राफ को बॉर्डर्स ऐड कर सकते हैं। सो लेट अस से वी वांट टू ऐड एन आउटसाइड बॉर्डर टू दिस पैराग्राफ, तो वो भी आप कर सकते हैं। यू कैन ऐड एन आउटसाइड बॉर्डर टू अ पैराग्राफ। यू हैव दिस बटन, ये जो एक बटन नज़र आ रहा है, इट इज़ कॉल्ड शो हाइड बटन। ठीक है, तो शो हाइड बटन इज़ ऑल्सो वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। शो हाइड बटन जब आप इसको क्लिक करते हैं तो इट बेसिकली शोज यू ऑल द नॉन प्रिंटेबल कैरेक्टर्स। ठीक है, नॉन प्रिंटेबल कैरेक्टर, वो कैरेक्टर्स जो कि प्रिंट नहीं हो सकते, मतलब उनका इफेक्ट आपको नज़र आ रहा होता है लेकिन वो आपको नज़र नहीं आ रहे होते कि वो हैं या नहीं। फॉर एग्जांपल ये जो आपको ये जो सिंबल नज़र आ रहा है, ये है सिंबल एंटर की प्रेस करने का। जब आप एंटर की प्रेस करते हैं ना, इसका मतलब है कि यहाँ पे आपने एंटर की प्रेस की थी। तो एंटर की प्रेस करने का इफेक्ट क्या होता है, यू इंसर्ट अ न्यू लाइन, सो समबडी प्रेस द एंटर की हियर, और फिर उसके बाद नया टेक्स्ट नई लाइन पे आया, फिर somebody दैट पर्सन प्रेस द एंटर की हियर एज वेल। अच्छा, आपको हर दो कैरेक्टर्स के बीच यू वुड सी दिस डॉट। ठीक है ना, हर दो कैरेक्टर्स के बीच यू वुड सी दिस डॉट, दिस इज स्पेस कैरेक्टर। जब आप स्पेस डालते हैं ना दो कैरेक्टर्स के बीच, सो वो आपको यहाँ पे यूँ नजर आएगा। फॉर एग्जाम्पल इफ आई वांट टू इंक्रीज द स्पेस है, मैं स्पेस कैरेक्टर प्रेस करना शुरू कर देता हूँ। सो आई गेस आई होप यू कैन लिसन टू मी प्रेसिंग द स्पेस की ऑन द कीबोर्ड, और यहाँ पे आपको ये डॉट्स नज़र आ रहे हैं। ठीक है, सो शो हाइड ये आपको बेसिकली इट इज़ हेल्पफुल इन मैनी सिचुएशंस। सिमिलरली जब आपकी डॉक्यूमेंट की वो वाली लुक नहीं आ रही जो कि जिस तरह की आप एक्सपेक्ट कर रहे हैं, सो और उसमें आपने मुख्तलिफ जगहों पे एंटर कीज़ या पेज ब्रेक्स वगैरह प्रेस किए हुए हैं, एंड यू वांट टू लुक कि क्या हो रहा है बेसिकली, सो यू कैन यूज़ दीज शो हाइड बटन। तो आपको पता चलेगा कहाँ पे एंटर की प्रेस हुआ है, कहाँ पे पेज ब्रेक्स डले हैं, कहाँ पे सेक्शन ब्रेक्स डले हैं। ठीक है, हमने पेज ब्रेक्स और सेक्शन ब्रेक्स के नाम तो अभी उनका जिक्र तो नहीं किया, लेकिन they allow you to see that। अच्छा, so we don't normally use the show hide button। normally हम इसको नहीं इस ऑप्शन को एक्सरसाइज करते ताकि डॉक्यूमेंट हमें वैसे ही नज़र आए जैसे कि उसने प्रिंट होना है। बट इफ़ यू प्रेस दिस बटन, so basically you're asking कि show me the non printable characters। ठीक है, तो आपको स्पेस कैरेक्टर, जहाँ जहाँ पे स्पेस कैरेक्टर मौजूद है, जहाँ जहाँ पे न्यू लाइन कैरेक्टर मौजूद है, तो वो तमाम आपको ये शो कर देता है। ठीक है, अच्छा जी। Next is like there are plenty of things that I need to talk about। One is there is a very good feature that I'll show you now, क्योंकि इसमें time कम लगता है। But then there are other features that I want to talk about। Specifically ये जो यहाँ पे आप देख रहे हैं ना, styles group of command जो आप देख रहे हैं, तो I want to, this is very important। you know you should know how to define styles and you should know how to use them in your document। ठीक है, तो this is important। ठीक है, तो उसका for example यहाँ पे अगर आप क्लिक करते हैं on this text, so you can see normal ये select हो जाता है, this text has normal style। यहाँ पे अगर मैं क्लिक करता हूँ, so I see heading 2 selected, so this text इसका जो स्टाइल है that is heading 2 स्टाइल। ठीक है, स्टाइल्स जो हैं वो बहुत यूज़फुल हैं, और यू शुड बी अवेयर ऑफ यूजिंग स्टाइल्स दैट विल मेक योर लाइफ वेरी इजी if you are going to create huge documents, and which you are supposed to create in your final year। In your final year you are supposed to write your a thesis report or a project report, so that would be a sizable document, and in that document you need to be aware of how to use these styles। ठीक है, अच्छा जी। Before that, before we talk about styles, there is this very useful feature here, dictate. Okay, so dictate basically means if you're not good at typing, so you can dictate Microsoft Word कि जी आप बोलते जाएं और Microsoft Word would start writing. So let us try that. I tried it earlier. I found it very fun to use. Let us try that. Okay. So let me press this button, dictate. Okay. So I have pressed it, and now this button, the icon has changed. It looks like some sort of record button option, and you see that after pressing it, now whatever I speak, that is converted into text. So this is kind of dictation. I'm dictating Microsoft Word. What happened there? Stopped working. Okay, so I am dictating Microsoft Word. Working slow. I am dictating Microsoft Word, and Microsoft Word is being obedient, and it is listening to me, and it is quite smart. Like whatever I speak, there aren't very many mistakes in the text that it is generating. Well, this is new. Like when we were using Microsoft Office in the early days, speech recognition or voice recognition, it was introduced in Microsoft Office XP, and trust me, it was not that accurate. One, it needed a lot of time to train, and two, after even after training and spending a lot of time on training, it wasn't that accurate. Right now इसको भी नज़र लग गई है, ये रुक गया है, ठीक है. But in any case, like this is another option that is available to you in Microsoft Word, and which you can use, dictate option. Let me turn it off. In fact, it has been turned off automatically. I don't know what is the reason for that. It needs to be explored. Here you can set the languages. So it was by default English UK. There are other options available to you as well. So we don't want to go there. English US or UK, that is fine. Okay. Okay, this was another fun feature that is available in Microsoft Word that you can use. Okay. I'm not sure about the length of this video. Let me check. We have been recording for almost 2 hours, so we have time. So let's go through uh, these styles. Now, they allow you styles allow you uh, to make the formatting of a document easier. Okay, to make the formatting of a document easier. Whenever you read a book or a document or anything, say for example, let's get started with the book. So whenever you read a book, so you see the chapter heading, it looks different. The section heading, so this is a chapter heading, and then each chapter has a section. So this is the section heading. So the section heading looks slightly different. Then normal text, it looks slightly different. Okay. So all these texts, like they follow different formatting. Like they have different formatting. These different types of text: the chapter heading, chapter title, the section heading. So all these have different types of formatting. We know that. Okay. So if you are going to write a book, or if you're going to write a thesis, for example, if you're going to do it in UET Peshawar, then maybe your semester coordinator or your final year project coordinator, they will give you some format guidelines. They will tell you, okay, if you want to create, if you're going to create, if you're going to write your thesis report, so this is how you should format your thesis. Like this is how the chapter heading should look. This is how the normal text should look. This is how the figure captions should look. This is how the section heading should look, and all that. Okay. So this is what they are going to give you, tell you. Let us save this document. Save another copy of this document. Let me save it in. Uh, Let us browse to documents, and then introduction computing. Let us name it as sample report. Okay. So now what I want to do is I want to remove all the formatting. So I'm selecting all the text. Okay, so you can select all the text by pressing the buttons Control plus A. Control plus A will select all the text. Okay, so I want to remove the formatting of all the text. Okay, so now this is plain text. It may be highlighted here and there, otherwise it is plain text. Okay, and let me remove this table of contents and all these things as well. So it still appears as table of contents. Let me remove it. So let me right click on it and see if I can remove it. There is a problem with the keyboard button as well. Okay, so finally I have removed it. Let me remove the figure of table of figures. Okay, okay. So now like this is a document with simple plain text and nothing else. Okay, so let us remove this thing as well, this table as well. So let us delete this table, delete table. Okay, it's deleted. Okay, now let me tell you what do you want to do. We want to format this document, and we want to format it to according to certain requirements. The requirements are that the chapter heading should look like this, and the section heading should look like this, and the section subheading should look like this, and the normal text should look like this. Those kind of requirements. And let's see like how we can do it. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to define these styles. So first is normal, say normal text, all the text that will appear in the paragraphs and all that. So let us define how that text would look like. Okay, so this is normal text, and let me right click on normal. Okay, so bring your mouse there and select, do a right click on normal, and then you have different options. So one of the options is modify the normal style. Okay, so we want to modify the normal style. So the normal style, it should not be Calibri. We want normal to be, say, Palatino linotype. Font size is 11, that is fine. We want the text to be, let me go to the format menu here, format paragraph. So we want the text to be, okay, wait. Okay, it's left aligned fine and normal. Line spacing should be, this is about line spacing, I guess. This is 1.5. Okay, so 1.5 lines. This is line spacing. Uh, what else? Font is fine. Okay, so say this is what we want to do, want with it. Okay, so normal, we change the normal. Okay, so wherever we have normal text, that will automatically change. Wherever we have normal text, now everything is normal. This is normal, this is normal, everything is normal. So all the text, it has changed in your entire document because everything is by default normal. Okay, fine. Okay, now the next thing that we want to do, we want to see how our chapter heading would look like. Okay, so chapter heading would be heading number 1. So let us modify it. Right click on heading 1, and then press modify. So we want our chapter heading, we want to modify its font. So let us go to the format menu and say font. How do we want it to look? So we want it to be the font, we want the font to be Arial. Let me search for Arial directly. Arial, we want it to be 20, 20, and we want it to be bold. Okay. Okay, so this is how we want, and we want the color to be automatic black. Okay, this is how we want it to be. We want it to be left aligned, and we want it to have 1.5 line spacing. That is fine. Okay. Okay, so this is what heading 1 is. Now let us, nothing is nothing has been specified as heading 1. So say chapter number 1, we want it to look like heading number 1. So you select it, or you just put your cursor here and then you say press heading 1. Okay? So it will become heading 1. What is this font? I made it Arial. Why isn't it Arial? Let us see. Okay, it is Arial. Okay, so it is Arial. Okay, this is chapter 1. Okay. So chapter 1 is basically this is its style is heading 1. Now how do we want our section header to look? Okay, so section header we will set style to heading 2, but before that let us define heading 2. Heading 2 is a style. Okay, so these are all styles. Normal is a style, heading 1 is a style, heading 2 is a style. So normal would apply to all the text in our paragraphs. Heading 1 will apply to all our chapter headings. Heading 2 will apply to all our section headings. Now let us apply heading 2. We don't want it to be Calibri. We want Arial. We want it to be 18. We want it to be bold. And we don't like this color. We want it to be automatic. Okay. And line spacing is fine and alignment is fine. Okay. So this is heading 2. Now let us make it heading 2. So this is how you make it heading 2. Okay. And this is not the only heading 2. We have, this is introduction. We have, this is another heading 2. This is another heading 2. Okay. This is another heading 2 maybe. I don't know. Okay. In fact, I guess this is heading 3. Let us define heading 3 as well. Let us define heading 3 as well. So let me right click on heading 3. Oh, there's a problem with this mouse button. Okay, so let us modify heading 3 and define it. So we want heading 3 to be, again, we don't want it to be, we want it to be Arial. We want it to be 16. We want it to be bold and italic. We want it to be left aligned, and yes, this is also fine, 1.3 heading space. Okay. So pattern recognition, and then let's say supervised classification, this is heading 3. And then we have unsupervised classification, this is heading 3 as well. Then OpenCV is heading 2. Okay. Okay. And then Python Sahib, this is also heading 2. And so similarly, this is how you can apply these different styles to different text. This is heading 1. This is heading 2. Okay. Now, chapter number 1, it should always start from a new page. Okay. It should always start from a new page. So you can insert a page break here. You can say insert and page break. So that will make chapter number 2 start from a new page. Okay. So chapter number 2 will start from a new page. Okay. Similarly, uh, chapter number 1, it already, there are plenty of spaces, empty space upstairs. Okay, there is plenty of empty space. Let us see the abstract. The abstract should also appear on a separate page. So let us make it as heading 2, and it should also appear on a separate page. So insert a page break. Page break inserts basically a new page. So it takes this text onto a new page. Whatever comes after the page break, that will appear on a new page. Okay, this logo here, it should not be sitting alone. Okay, it does not belong here. So let us delete it. And let us press the delete key so that the other text, it comes here. Oh no, Control Z, redo. Okay, let us reapply the style. This is heading 2. Okay. Okay. Chapter number 1, 2. Now, chapter number 1, it should start from a new page. So we need to insert a page break here so that it starts from a new page. Fine. Okay. Okay, so this is basically a small demonstration of how you can define styles and then apply them. And once you apply a style to, you change the style, so all the text would change in your entire document. The text that has the same style, that is based upon the same style. And similarly, you can like define new styles or change or modify existing styles, and then you can apply those styles to new text. Okay, you can do that. Okay, this is up until now. After a short while, I'll start with another lecture, and then I'll try to finish whatever we are talking about these styles, and then some other things, and then that will be it about Microsoft Word. Okay. Okay. See you later then.